Aloha. I wanted to make this video in reference to the dumbing down of the human consciousness and its relation to the flat earth and the Mandela effect and CERN and all those other things that are shifting into this reality, whether they're being manipulated by some kind of intelligence, a malevolent intelligence, or happening organically within our reality. I wanted to make it kind of simple because it is basically, it's a simple idea that I've been observing, that this whole transhumanism thing coming to surface is based upon the technological evolution of mankind, based upon the control grid as a whole. And this whole university system design is based on technology and artificial evolution and an artificial understanding of, or actually a totally bunk understanding of our natural creative process, and actually is a part of an artificial. We are literally in an artificial intelligence when you realize that we are on a flat plane, as well beyond physical beings, when we are being told consistently by the public education system, by the university system, by our politicians, by our so-called scientists. These aren't scientists. These are magicians. These are people who are programming you and your children to believe into an artificial system. This system we call the heliocentric model, which started over 500 years ago, is now evolved into a place where the entire collective consciousness has now created a reality where we actually believe everything that these individuals have told us, just like whatever this crazy stuff that people were falling for when the kings and queens, or the kingdoms of like ancient times were dumbing down and keeping people impoverished back then, and the church was installing frames of thought that make people believe certain things and think certain ways and act certain ways. Shit, within the last 50 years, we were actually lynching people here in the United States. Like, people were being killed here. Our own family members, our own grandparents, like our own grandparents and parents, a lot of the time, some of us were lynched here within our lifetimes because of the frames of thought that came down from the very political system that is up today, the very university system that is up today, the collective mindset that is at the foundation of everything that we believe today. It's all alive and thriving, and we have been conditioned to a space of distraction and lies and a glorification of that reality to make it light, to lighten it up, to lighten genocide, to lighten up an entire destruction of a psyche, a mindset, and an actual consciousness as a whole, to bring in this new version of evolution based upon all those lies in the first place. So my basic point is that the dumbing down of our system the dumbing down of our reality is put in place to keep people dormant, so that these so-called scientists look like they are awakened, like they are the awakened ones. They are the ones who will bring in our reality, because we've been dumbed down by our surroundings and told that this is what our reality is. This is real. This is reality TV. This is what's really going on. And the TV shows that were even somewhat close to having some kind of value were taken off the air eventually. But at the same time, they were utilized to get people to create foundations within the television, like to like this. So they brought in these stories of people which were still, excuse me, still a lot of the times broken and based upon like the American dream struggle, and that American dream carrot dangling in front of you. Like it was all a program. So this program was a program to convince you that the system was okay. The system was just like you. The system has value. It's connected to your culture, your people, your this, your that. It's funny. It's lighthearted. It's real. This was the reality TV a few decades ago. And this is the reality TV of today. It's and it went from like value to broken, and the main premise here is that the psyche of the individual is to watch these television shows and create your own identity based upon how different you are and how similar you are. So the similarities are slim when it's so bad, like when everything is so jacked up. So you get this sense of pride in yourself, saying, "Oh, well, at least our family isn't that bad. At least we don't think like them. At least we aren't as bad psychologically as these idiots on this Big Bang show. Like at least we don't, at least we value our family. At least we value our friends and value our relationships as more than the characters on this show. At least we aren't as broken down, like our masculinity isn't broken down as much as these people, or our connections to each other isn't broken down as much as these people." At the same time, there's a dichotomy of these people being so-called successful, like they've made it. So there's that separation at the same time. But the program of today, just like the program back in the day for this, was values and connection and some kind of similarity, but it was on the positive scale. On this scale, so it's all emotional tethering. It's like making you become more vested in a reality based upon the emotions that you share with that system. So now the emotions are based upon separation. The emotions are based upon, well, at least I'm not that fucked up. At least my kids will never be like that. So it's the same thing. So same thing with the Big Bang. At least we're not that bad. Like, so you separate it. Meanwhile, the political game continues to go on and on and on, just underneath your nose. Even programming with this is all about atheism. This is all about science. This is all about the transhumanism program that they're selling, this artificial evolution grid that people are buying right into with smartphones and everything. So they tell you the evolution of the globe model with this television show. They subconsciously tell you this with this television show, and telling you go to college, go to the university, get a job, be an American dream. Um, Same thing with these shows. Just get by. Make it. Just make sure you can go to work and provide for your kids, and don't do anything more than just try to laugh it on out. Don't bring any like values and parental guidance or anything like that. Just laugh everything off, and then be okay with with what you got, and just be happy with that. And then it keeps this state of dormancy and limbo, to where our emotional states are just like people can fuel themselves off of stress. Like people fuel themselves off of low vibrations. That all of this is fuel. All of this is it's a generic, like a cheap gas, a cheap gasoline. And meanwhile, when you get back on the freeway, called the American Dream or called the artificial human evolution, the end point, the exits that are in the future are given to you. Like this is your destination is given to you, pretty much. Your destination is given to you by some people, by the church. Some people's destination is given to them by the university system. Some people have a destination given to them by their family and their history. It's like, I just want to do what my mom and pops did, or my father did. I just want to repeat that. So these destinations are based upon the physical reality, and the physical reality has been usurped by controllers and these magicians we call scientists, who are trying to make us, like, buy us into a system. They're trying to suck us into a world where we give our lives away to these ideas. And they create these little doggy treats, like they destroy everything with the military-industrial complex, and then use those individuals, the veterans, as test subjects, and also commercial advertisements so now that they come back from war, and they got like one leg and one arm, now they can get a bionic arm and become like this super soldier or super person now. And then and then people are so sick from the medication and the prescription drugs, they can utilize them now, because it's just like making everything so destructive that whatever you sell you can sell somebody a ham and cheese sandwich made out of dirt and like ham and cheese flavoring, and then if they've been eating rocks for the last 50 years, then that's going to be amazing. So this is what's happening right now. So we've been eating rocks for the last however many centuries, and now this transhumanism idea is coming in with these so-called scientists all over the world theorizing about this and that and dimensions and all kinds of stuff, working at CERN, talking about we're peeking into interdimensional doorways, and we're crashing protons, to do this and that, and we're going to Mars, and we're taking pictures here and there. It's all a big show, and the politicians are out there to play the middle people. Like, so when you put your destination on that freeway so far out there or so far in, there's very many different ways to handle this situation. You can focus only on yourself. You can focus only on your family. You can focus only on your kids. You can focus only on your career. But if you focus on the system as a whole, you will be outcasted. You will be somebody that is not part of the cool crew. And even this is happening on the inside of the flat earth community, where if you're not talking about what they're talking about in the cool crowd, then you're not welcome. You're not part of it, because you're either trying to cause problems, or you're doing this or you're doing that. It's this whole high school mentality that is being perpetrated through the mindset, and that has leaked over even into giving the cool kids the total benefit of the doubt of being like positively part of a movement of ideas or something like that, then they it's leaked over that whole mindset of that without having intent has leaked over into this cool kids movement, and is starting to affect the whole idea of how big this whole system is, how big, what's all connected here. Like we've, yes, the flat Earth is connected to The Simpsons and Family Guy and Housewives of Beverly Hills and Family Matters and Roseanne and the Big Bang Theory and all that other stuff. And all this stuff is very connected to how we envision our reality. And even down to the personalities within this so-called flat Earth community, this whatever group of institutions have taken this style of interaction with each other and other people, and has institutionalized it within the way they engage in their, even in this way. This is how we are perceiving our entire existence as a whole. And even these old ass ridiculous programs are a part of this shit now. Oh, it's about my sexuality. Oh, this is about, we're gonna be like creating this. Who the fuck are you to try to say that you're gonna create some shit? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you when you go in to start talking about like creating and building shit already? We're still trying to heal shit right now. Like, who gives a fuck about your sexuality and all that shit right now? There's so many people who are suffering because of white supremacy and poverty and the military industrial complex and the prison industrial complex. People are still being lynched on the streets right now. And I'm not saying don't party and all that. Don't put me up there as like, oh yeah, this is you're one of those people who are just angry and all that. Don't fucking label me as that shit, because if you're not angry about some things or most things that are going around there now, then you got some fucking issues going on with you internally, to where you are not paying attention to the grander scheme of this whole storyline. If you have a flat Earth channel, and then you put up some shit about sexuality, there's something fucking off there. Something is very damn off there. And I'm sorry for cursing as much as I just got emotional in that space, because it pisses me off the amount of the velocity shift that is being dictated by the same programs that are a part of this control grid. The same damn programs that are out here controlling the way people think and the way even they learn, the way they understand. It's the same stuff. What do you think the Housewives of Beverly Hills is selling? Their sexuality, this artificial ass physical reality bullshit. This is a sexuality based upon the globe Earth. That stupid ass video put on Mark Sargent and Orphan Red's YouTube channel is sexuality of the flat Earth. There's no fucking difference. It's all trying to sell something, trying to get more attention for something, instead of focusing on the actual issues and the depth of this whole scenario, this whole thing. If you are only focusing on the old shit of a broken system and taking those old programs into a new reality, then something is definitely askew. There's something off there. the politicians and the so-called the people who make moves, the people who make decisions based upon the collective as a whole, are the ones who come out on top. These professors and all this stuff, when they make so many extreme versions of, at least I'm not like that, at least I'm not like that, at least I'm not like that, and I fit somewhere in between here, I fit somewhere in between here, at least I'm not like that, but they're smart, so we have to listen to them. And then you have the oh, this is cool, I want a bionic eye, I want to be able to see 2 miles down the road clearly with 20/20 vision, I want to be able to live forever with an electronic heart glove and have my heart beating forever. What the hell good is the use of a heart beating forever if you ain't worth a damn? If you ain't got something's fucked up with the way you're experiencing your reality as a whole, like you're destroying yourself. Like, what good is all this? So these are all distractions. Your sexuality is a distraction. It's based on when you factor in the oh man goodness when you factor in the potential that the human experience has, that little shit of the physical reality as a whole, even that can be understood as a little shit, as a physical reality as a whole. Not throwing it completely out of the window, not throwing sexuality and fun and all this sparkly shit out of the window. I'm saying there's a time and place for this stuff. There's a time and place, and we haven't even scratched the surface of this flat earth, Mandela effect, CERN, transhumanism shit. We haven't even opened the book of, this whole magic show that's being played right now. We are still in the information unveiling section of what's all involved here. And these scientists and these Hollywood scientists have created a space where people are proud of not being like the Housewives of Beverly Hills. They're proud of not being like Family Guy and The Simpsons and Roseanne and the Big Bang people. They've created this pride in the system, in themselves, which creates a space that can be sold. We're being sold an artificial reality, and if we take those old school mentalities and start to install it into a new version of how we observe ourselves, of how foundations are being set right now, foundations of the way we observe our reality are being understood right now, because these artificial pillars and chess games have been working the human consciousness for centuries, and it's been within the last few decades, a lot of decades, it's been in the hands of controllers, manipulators, and people who are completely entities that are completely separate from their connections to a creative source, a creator, the Most High. This is the thing. These systems, these old systems, this whole physical reality, your titties, your ass, your pretty face, all this stuff, all that whole design of what this artificial reality is based upon, this shit was installed. The white supremacy program, this shit was installed by people who have separated themselves from their creator. And because they have separated themselves from their creator, they are trying to create a system that has an artificial creator, an artificial hive mind, an artificial infinity. This is what the internet is. This is what this whole system is about. And we are seeing this program get played out in our university system day after day. Our kids are learning to be like monkeys, to be seeing themselves as this idea of reality, and then become artificial. This is the backwards running human program. And if you fall into that system, which is the design of this system, it don't matter if you got a fancy car, you got a fancy degree, if you got a fancy house, if you got this, if you got that. The design of this system is to de-evolve you, to separate you from your creator, as they have been separated from their creator, in order to buy into an artificial reality. And it is fueling itself with our emotion, our investment in the television, our investment in the university system, our investment in stress, in fear, in insecurity, in lacking of love and connection, and that whole the organic spaces of our reality. It fuels itself off of that. And it's very linked into how we perceive our reality as a whole. And this science, this whole CERN, people still talking about CERN. People still talking about globe model and all that stuff. We can see you don't have to be a time traveler to see what's on the agenda. And these cell phones, smartphones, the whole smart movement, smart meters, smart water, smart guns, smart this, smart that. They're setting themselves up as smart because you're stupid, you're dumb. Like you're basically you're just Family Guy. You're a Roseanne. You're a Family Matters. You're The Simpsons. You're dumb. So this was the priming of this system as a whole, to create dumb subconscious people and smart conscious people, in quotation marks. Smart meter, smart phone, smart this. And then the smart test people will sell in the program afterwards and during. Create your evolution for you. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I wanted to expand upon, was the the extremes of dumbing down and dumbing up, in a sense, and you fit somewhere in between on this dumb train being called a smart evolution, basically. So I'll leave it there. And yeah, this expand, I would share with the flat earth community, or whoever, individuals themselves, expand outside of this format design, this artificial reality, and start to connect with who we are. This is why I stress so much a lot about finding your connections to your culture, even whatever disagreements you might have with your culture and this and that. Find the essence of the connections with nature and spirits, animal spirits. Find the connections with spirit as a whole. and your consciousness as a whole, and what the ancient people had. We have to find our roots again. We have to find our foundation, because this foundation that has been set up for us is based upon artificial roots. We have to go back a long ways before we start stepping forward. And this is what makes me think about this whole like orchestrated, or some people talk about shills and all this other stuff. If you're trying to step forward already, if you're trying to do all this and still asking for NASA for shit, and still asking, the people who created this program, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give one shit about you or your children or anything. They are lacking emotion, lacking compassion, lacking love, lacking a connection with the Creator. If you have a connection with your Creator, your source, and you are asking individuals who do not have any connection with their Creator, with their source energy for something, you will be disappointed, because they are in the business of separating people from their creative energy, their creative source, their most high realizations. This is what science and technology is all about. If you don't challenge yourself to get outside of that box, outside of these bubbles of emotional insecurity, and just still having some kind of hope for this system, then you will have the hope that will be delivered to you by an artificial system, by a grid that is designed to separate. And we have way more potential than that, individually and collectively. So I'll leave it there. And thank you for joining me. Until next time, peace, love, and harmony.